In Renegade Platinum, abilities, moves, types, items, and trainer Pokemon are made to be as difficult as possible, so I decided to hardcore Nuzlocke this ROM hack. Yeah, seriously. Well, for those of you that aren't aware, let me give you a basic rundown on the rules. You can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter in each route. Once a Pokemon faints, it's dead and you cannot use them for the rest of the run, so that means you have to box them permanently. No items during battle except for held items. No overleveling the next gym leader or Elite Four member. The battle style must be on set mode. And finally, EVs are not in this ROM hack to make it even more challenging. So you cannot EV train to outspeed certain Pokemon. You have to be naturally faster. I have a detailed version of these rules in the description, and whether you're familiar with hardcore Nuzlockes or not, I suggest you to check them out. Without further ado, it's time to see if I can beat this Renegade Platinum hardcore Nuzlocke. It's finally time to pick my starter, and my choice was Chimchar due to their hidden ability Iron Fist. Fire types are hard to come by early game, and later on in Sandgem Town, you have the opportunity to pick the 2 starters you didn't end up bringing with you on your journey. I decided to go with Turtwig because there's an absurd amount of water types in later routes. Counter to Shinx. I'm gonna get this spark on that big. Alright, quick attack. Yeah. You're not doing anything. Spark, one shot. GG, no re. Get out of here. And you're dead. Gone. We got the relatively easiest rival battle we've had so far. So we taunt so he doesn't Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, or whatever he's trying to do. The only attacking move this Nosepass has is Shockwave, and obviously Geodude resists that. So looks like we're all set. Looks like we're pretty clear. In the clear, you know what I'm saying? Get those bulldozers ready as the taunts come out. So right now he'll probably go for like a rock throw or something. So Chimecho doesn't take as much damage. Luxio, it doesn't really matter for Luxio. Yep, not doing that much damage. Going for the bulldoze, and then we can just go for the confusion. I want as much HP as possible going into every other Pokemon. Oh, if this confusion hits, this would be huge. Oh my god, that was so lucky. Wow, I'm gonna kill this Geodude without taking any damage. Unfortunately, my Chimecho is a minus defense nature, but this is crazy. Wow, I got so lucky on this. I'm going to get a free kill on this Pokemon. So we can go for that Water Pulse. That knocks you out. And I'm sure they're probably gonna go for like a Thunder Punch or something. Go for Cranidos Thunder Punch. So it looks like the best line of play is to go to Geodude because he's gonna Thunder Punch and then Bulldoze should one-shot. That should be the best line of play, honestly. Yep. And then even if he hits me with something, like, it doesn't matter. Zen should only do 25 to 30%. Yep, and this should kill. Yeah, nice. All right, so we're looking pretty good. So what I can do is go into Chimecho because he's gonna Bulldoze. Like, there's no way he doesn't Bulldoze. So yeah, he goes for Stealth Rock, which is good. Because I was preventing the Stealth Rock before. Stealth Rock now doesn't really matter. So yeah, that does a lot of damage. And a confusion. Okay, I'm so lucky. But I'll use it again. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to Sandstorm? Wow. This Chimecho is busted, and I am very lucky. But yeah, this is looking really good here. So I can just go for confusion. He's probably going to go for like a Rock Tomb or something. It's not going to do much. Pretty bulky. Okay, go for Rollout. So that does that much. Next one will probably do a decent amount, but it won't kill me even with the crit. Yeah, I just go in for a confusion and I win the game. Go for taunt, so he does not go for get that flame wheel, go from that 2-shot. This should do a lot of damage, so he's probably going to Dazzling Gleam here. It'll do a decent amount, unfortunately, but this is the best way to really deal with this situation. Get another flame wheel, and yeah, Blossom's out of here. I'm actually thinking of going Chimecho here. Yeah, and then we get the extra sensory, and this should be good to go. That's probably the better play. And he activates the Citrus. Yeah, and luckily enough, when you're at low HP, they sometimes go for a random move. Did a lot. That even a crit wouldn't have killed there. Unfortunate they crit me though. And then go for a Flame Wheel. Oh, it crit me though. Wow, that is so unlucky. Grass Knot will do hella damage. Yeah. Yep. All kills here. All right, that was lucky in my opinion. Nice, get a crit back. We deserve that. Grottle, okay. So they're gonna go for a seed bomb here. I might actually go into Luxio and get another intimidate. And then he might actually bulldoze for some reason. Let's try to go for intimidate again. See what they go for. Bulldoze, yep. All right, we got it. Thing is, Breloom can Thunder Punch, but that's fine because it doesn't kill at all. We go for that Shadow Ball. Should do a good amount. Thunder Punch, yep. Yeah, and we won. Honestly, we would have had a 0 death if I didn't get crit twice, but Electro goes for Light Screen while I switch into Drapion. The Drapion goes for a Sword Stance, so I can set up for a knockout on Drifblim. Drifblim keeps going for the Calm Mind, while my Drapion goes for the knockoff. Easy kill right there. Right now, they're going to send in their Mismagius. Mismagius always sets up the Calm Mind on the first turn, so this gives me a free knockoff here. Knocked off that Citrus Berry, they go for the Hyper Potion while I knock off again, and knockoff will clean up the kill on Mismagius while I take 36 damage from a Dazzling Gleam. Thank God for that Light Screen. Gengar comes in, goes for a Will-O-Wisp. I kind of expected this, but knew that knockoff, no matter what, at neutral attack, will two-shot the Gengar. So I go into my Electrode, using the Discharge here to clean up the kill. Cleans it up, easy peasy, and now my opponent, Fantina, goes into Spiritomb. But I have an Umbreon, so I switch back into Umbreon because Umbreon resists the Shadow Ball, and Umbreon just goes right in, goes in for the crunch. I have Moonlight and Wish if I need to recover HP, so I keep crunching over and over again. Luckily, I get a crit defense drop, but I don't think it really matters because Fantina doesn't heal up. So either way, we would have been able to clean that up. So it looks like, yeah, Dusclops comes in. Dusclops has that Will-O-Wisp, but we go for the crunch. It doesn't matter, but they go for the Shadow Punch for some reason. I don't know why, but we crunch again. Maybe they didn't want to Will-O-Wisp burn themselves as well because Umbreon also has the ability Synchronize. We switch right into Luxray, being resisted to everything Banette throws at us, and we just cleaned it up with a crunch here and beat the third gym. I didn't hit the record button at the beginning of the battle, but I used Chimecho to set up my Reflect to go into my Gyarados and set up the Dragon Dances. As you can see, the Zen Headbutts aren't doing that much damage, so I get the +4 with the Dragon Dance here. Or no, I actually go for +3, go for a Return, because that knocks out the Medicham, and honestly knocks out everything else in its path. So it looks like Machamp is here, and I go for that Aqua Tail to be able to get as much damage as possible here, and it gets the knockout, which is fantastic for me. Reflect wears off, but it doesn't really matter because then my Gyarados can just go for a Return and knock out the Infernape. While my Gyarados is sweeping here, this is why Gyarados is so broken. Looks like they go for a Sucker Punch, doesn't do that much damage, but Gyarados again going for that Return, knocking them out, and going for another one on the Gallade, knocking them out. And then I just go against the Lucario, hit that Return button. You know, we're just clicking buttons here. Sets up an Agility. It doesn't really matter. None of Lucario's moves can kill me. But Lucario goes for a Latch-Ditch effort with that Flash Cannon, get that critical hit drop, but it doesn't matter because Return will end the day. Next up, we're against Crasher Wake. I set up a Sunny Day while they go for an Aqua Tail, and this leads me to go into my Gyarados to set up some Dragon Dances. But we get there, we set up those Dragon Dances. Hopefully the Ice Punch doesn't freeze me, but if you didn't know, Ice Punch doesn't freeze in the sun, so that's why we were safe there. So I just did a few Dragon Dances there, sped that up. Return didn't kill, even though in the calc it said it did. I think my calc was incorrect there. I definitely didn't mess it up because I actually triple checked that. So we switch back into our Milotic. We get a crit Zen Headbutt. Hopefully we don't get flinched here. That would be very unfortunate. So this forces us into a situation where we just have to recover as much as possible. So then we go for that Moonblast because Sharpedo has the Focus Sash. They will survive. and we're going for that recover strategy again. Hopefully we don't get unlucky this time. Torpedo goes for Zen Headbutt while I recover once again, and then we go for that Moon Blast, and it seems like we are in a great spot. But he did flinch me that previous turn, but the Moon Blast did go off this turn. So we don't want to learn that Safeguard there, we definitely don't. So who are they going to send up? They're going to send in their Ludicolo, the Grass Water type. That's why we go into Roserade, Sludge Bomb, easy one-shot. But we go into our Milotic here. Poliwrath has nothing really to touch us with, so we go for a Moon Blast, which is an easy 2-hit KO. Milotic is Water Fairy in this game, so this makes Milotic one of the best Pokemon you can ask for when you're going to Mount Coronet. Lastly, they send in Floatzel, they hit that Aqua Tail, but we got our own Moon Blast ready to go. Moon Blast is going to sweep this gym. Milotic, the MVP. We would have swept with Gyarados, but unfortunately, I don't know what that calc was. Next up, we fight Dawn. This is our third round against this trainer. We lead with our Choice Scarf Drapion, that's why it outsped, and Night Slash gets the kill. So we go into our Gyarados, and Gyarados intimidates, and then we go for that Waterfall. But unfortunately, it didn't kill here due to the Pasho Berry, but the next Waterfall will definitely kill. And I didn't think Gyarados would be slower than Mamoswine, so we could have lost to a critical hit there. That was my mistake. We switch into Metagross. For some reason, I shouldn't have done this. We had the Cherry Berry, but it's kind of useless due to my Metagross being a -speed nature and not being able to outspeed the Clefable. But we get Clefable to 1 HP twice with that Iron Head. So unlucky. It was a good chance for me to kill it with it too. They go into Torterra. We go back into our Staraptor due to being flying type and having that Intimidate, which leads us to Brave Bird the Torterra and knock them out. For some reason, I switched out even though my Staraptor was faster than Lopunny, so I don't know why I was switching out here. Maybe I accidentally put Staraptor at the wrong level in the calc, so I thought I didn't outspeed. So I go for that close combat anyway, because I really didn't have a choice. So they send out their Vaporeon, I send out my Milotic. Milotic walls Vaporeon, while I just am able to Moonblast repeatedly here. Vaporeon's only most damaging move is their Hydro Pump, so that's all they really got to do with this situation. So it's just a war of attrition at this point. And we lower their special attack with that Moonblast. They go for the extra sensory due to running out of Hydro Pumps or just clicking random moves for some reason. And the Milotic cleans up here. It's going to go for Hypnosis. So we got our Chesto Berry and we're going to hit that Encore. First turn hit the Hypnosis. That's fine. And we get that Encore, so even if we fall asleep again, even if they hit us with another Hypnosis, they'll be stuck with Hypnosis for a while. He's still hitting Hypnosis. He hit every Hypnosis so far. And look, it's gone. That's the strategy. I want to speed that through because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of boring to sit through, you know what I'm saying? All right, so our Wild Charge should kill here. Base 100, doing hella damage, faster than the Honchkrow. This is a one-shot, according to the calc, so gone. Scary, if you ask me, but that's why we got our Milotic. Milotic resists Ice and Dark moves because it's Water Fairy. What a busted typing. Like, this Pokemon right now is so good. And the Extra Belt's also useless on the Weavile because he can't hit us for weakness. And we got that leftovers, so we just hit it with the Moonblast and it's gone. Oh, Feint Attack is not going to do anything, and we're just gonna kill this pretty easily. Technician, it doesn't matter, you're not doing any damage. Moonblast gonna kill, and that's Cyrus for you. This is pretty easy if you ask me. Quagsire has Earthquake, so he shouldn't really do much, and he used Thunderbolt. Now I'm gonna go for an Earthquake. Apparently I'm faster, even though Quagsire is pretty slow. I guess his Magnet Zone's even slower. So we go for that Earthquake and knock him out. We lead off with our Pelipper versus Berry Staraptor. Pelipper goes for the Protect while Staraptor goes for a Brave Bird. Keep in mind that Staraptor's actually Choice Banded. That's why we switch into the Metagross. Metagross tanks that pretty well in the rain. We go for the Iron Head here and get that clean knockout. So it looks like the opponent will go into their Arcanine, which makes the most sense. And we have a plan for this because we just switch out into our Milotic here. Milotic with the Surf should be able to pick up a knockout here. Arcanine goes for that Flare Blitz. We don't take any damage, especially because we're resisted and we're in the rain. Arcanine makes a latch disc effort, goes for that extreme speed, while we go for our Surf in the rain to knock him out. Keep in mind the level cap is 53 here, so I definitely don't want to get as much XP on this Milotic as possible. So we go into our Roserade here because Roserade resisted to everything besides Breloom's Stone Edge, but we also have the Chesto Berry to not be put to sleep. We go for that Sludge Bomb, hit that to the Focus Sash, and then we get that Stone Edge. Doesn't look like it's going to hit us for that much damage, and that's why we go for the Sludge Bomb. They go into Empoleon here, so that's why we go back into our Pelipper. Weirdly enough, Pelipper for the most part 1v1s the Empoleon. Pelipper's more bulky. We get that burn with Scald. They have the agility, but it doesn't really matter because we're slower anyway. So we're going for that Hurricane. Hopefully we can get a Confusion at this point, or we go for the Roost. I think Hurricane might actually come in a couple turns from now. So we get that Protect, we get a little bit of burn damage off. They hit that Citrus Berry while we attack with our Pelipper's Hurricane here. Hopefully get a Confusion, but we get a critical hit, so can't complain too much there. We go back into our Poliwrath, which was actually a huge mistake. There was no reason to do that. I should have just stayed in with my Pelipper, but maybe I expected them to go for a full restore there, which I don't even think the trainer battles really have. So that misplay will come into play later on against this Snorlax. I don't really have a good answer in my box to this Snorlax, so this was the best team I could come up with. Surf is really going to do nothing even in the rain, while Snorlax sets up a Curse here. With Curse, Body Slam, Slack Off, and Crunch, Snorlax is a big threat. So we go into our Gyarados trying to set up some Dragon Dances, but man, this Snorlax is hitting way more than I thought it would, and we had no choice but to sack Gyarados here and get that damage off with the Waterfall. Unfortunately, this was the case. I think I definitely shouldn't have Dragon Dance twice there and just went for the double Waterfall. I think that would have been a 2-hit KO. We go into Poliwrath, but Low Kick doesn't even do enough damage, and that's where the damage comes into play from switching into Empoleon and knocks out my Poliwrath. Where we go into our Pelipper, they go into their Heracross. We got a Rock Slide here. I figured they wouldn't go for Rock Slide again, but we hit off with that Moonblast. I think it does a lot of damage here, but they hit me with the Mega Horn, while Moonblast does in one shot. I figured Rock Slide wouldn't kill here. It was actually a range, so I went into Pelipper to risk not getting crit on my Milotic, but unfortunately they went for the random move Rock Slide, and we cleaned up with Roserade. So now we're up against Riley, someone who I did not expect to be that tough of a fight, but when prepping for him, he really was. So we lead off with Staraptor, going for that close combat on the Absol, and then follow it up on a close combat with the Lucario, easily KOing that. Then we go into our Gengar because Ursaring doesn't have any moves to hurt Gengar. The best move they have is that Play Rough right there. So we go into that, we burned it, we go for that Sludge Bomb. Oh my, this is a disaster, bro. He is getting rocked, but he has his own Metagross with Iron Fist actually. So I sent in my own Metagross to go for an Earthquake, so as long as he doesn't crit me, then we'll be fine. So I can get some chip on that Metagross to clean him up with someone else later. So we go back into our Staraptor because I know he's gonna go for another Earthquake, which leads me to go into my Quagsire so I can get an easy Earthquake off on this Metagross and finish it off, because the close combat didn't kill that Metagross. So we go back into our Dusclops here. Against Slacking, we Will-O-Wisp. Honestly, I probably should have just went the fly route against this Slacking to play around his Truant, but we go into our Staraptor and hit that close combat. He's not going to do much damage because he's burned, so either way it worked. He wasn't really going to do that much to me anyways. Man, 1 HP, but he has that Citrus Berry, so looks like Riley is going to heal with a full restore, and I hit him again with a close combat, and close combat should pick up the KO. What's scary though is that he also has a Salamence we've yet to see, so that leads me going into my Lapras, hitting it with an Ice Beam, finally killing the Salamence. Quad effective. Now we're up against Gym Leader Byron, the 6th Gym Leader in the Sinnoh region. I lead off with Magmortar, go for a Sunny Day, and hit him with a Flamethrower, boosting my Fire type moves because of that Sunny Day. Leveling up my Magmortar. As you can see, we're always edging our Pokemon so we can get that max level. And now Flamethrower, thanks to that Sunny Day, is able to kill the Steelix. And then he goes into Aggron, but I switch because Aggron has a Focus Sash, and I switch into Metagross because I knew it was going to Head Smash because it saw the kill on the Magmortar. Metagross goes for the Earthquake, hitting that Focus Sash, but I go for another Earthquake, expecting him to full restore, but since I outspeed, I'm able to double Earthquake and knock him out. Next up, he shows up with his fortress, which is really dumb in retrospect. I should have just went into my Magmortar here. I let him set up some toxic spikes for free, and I could have just went in Magmortar and hit him with that flamethrower, knowing my Dusclops was even slower as well, preventing that spike. It's just a big misplay on my end, but it didn't really change much because I didn't lose any Pokemon in this fight. So we go back into Magmortar. For some reason, it's just a bad order of operations here, and we finally hit him with that flamethrower. And I honestly don't see the benefit in doing that. I think I just made a mistake, or I might have actually misclicked. That could have been an opportunity to set up myself for failure. I don't know why, but yeah, we hit him with the Nidoqueen Earthquake, hit him with another Earthquake, and Bastiodon is out. Next up, we're fighting against Saturn, the wretched boss of Lake Verity. We lead off with our Scarf Drapion, going for that knockoff, getting that easy one-hit KO, knocking off his Wise Glasses. This turn sends in his Rhydon, go into my Gliscor, and I set up my Swords Dance hoping he doesn't crit, but it was very unlikely that he would. He got a max roll there. There was only one roll out of like 16 where a crit would kill me, so I just roost over and over again so crits don't mess me up, and I'm able to set up Swords Dance and should be able to sweep his team pretty easily. But for some reason, after I kill this Rhydon, you'll see I make a pretty dumb play, but that'll come up in a second. Earthquake kills the Rhydon. I switch out on the Octillery for no reason, but I send in my Quagsire to bait the Hydro Pump so I can get in my Porygon Z freely, because even with a crit, Seed Bomb wouldn't kill. We go for a Thunderbolt on the Octillery and knock it out. So they send in their Toxicroak, and I go back into my Gliscor, hitting him with an Earthquake to eventually knock him out. But before that, he gets a Cross Chop and crits me. So this, I roost just in case, and then I follow it up with that Earthquake for that inevitable knockout. But he gets a Gunk Shot, man, and he's poisoning me. That's not cool. Let me kill this Toxicroak for free. That would be nice. So we go into that, get the knockout. Pretty smooth snailing, if you ask me. They send in their Bronzong. I go into Dusclops. They send in their Zen Headbutt. They go into the Shadow Ball route. So that's, I was hoping they wouldn't do that and hit me. But luckily we were able to get that damage. So I had to switch out, go into Sting, and finish him off with that. I think I should have just went into Drapion at first anyways. Now we're facing off against Commander Jupiter. Jupiter, one of the most threatening teams of this run. We lead off with our Mamoswine with Focus Sash in mind, so if we get crit, it won't matter. We kill it with an Avalanche. Now we send in our Dusclops, going for that Will-O-Wisp to lower the attack potency of that payback. Now we're looking pretty good. We just spam Shadow Punch until this Bronzong is dead. Look at this payback, doing nothing. Shadow Punch, doing more than half, plus the burn, guaranteed to kill here. So we go for another Shadow Punch. Payback's not doing anything, especially because we're slower than the Bronzong. So, you know, that literally halves the damage. Get that leftovers recovery, but Yanmega will definitely one-shot us. So we have to go into Metagross, bait the Air Slash. He's going to go for a Bug Buzz, so we have to switch out. We go into Togekiss here. Togekiss, high special defense, but you'll see here that might not even matter. But we get that Draining Kiss off, getting a lot of HP back, so as long as we don't get flinched here, we'll be fine. But, you know, we got flinched, and we have to force sack the Togekiss or the Dusclops. So I chose the Dusclops here. Dusclops not really good for the rest of the run, but it definitely is a good Pokemon. So we go into Mamoswine so we can get that Ice Shard and hit the kill. Ice Shard easily one-shots the Yanmega, quote-unquote, one-shots the Yanmega, and they send in their Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is a big threat. They go for the Double Edge, but we really don't have any switch-ins here, and this forces me to sack my Luxray to get an Intimidate off. We send in our Drapion, going for that Cross Poison, doing absolutely nothing. But we do have Scope Lens, so we're hoping to get that critical hit, but that's just really not happening. But unfortunately for them, their Kangaskhan was able to get knocked out. Next, they send in Purugly, and Purugly is a scary Pokemon because it's deceptively fast, and it gets a Body Slam Para on this next one, which is absolutely terrible, because if I don't use this Hammer Arm and kill it, then I lose the game. So we get a Hammer Arm, not even going to kill it here, but if we get another Hammer Arm off, we'll be able to win the game, and it looks like we're able to do that. We're at the Snow Point City Gym, and we're doing Degenerate Encore strategies. And we Encore the Walrein, go into Umbreon, which I should have went into my other Pokemon to set up the rocks first, but I set up Sunny Day first, which didn't make sense because that wastes a turn of Sunny Day. I was probably like 2 a.m. playing this, so I don't know what I was thinking. but I go back into Aerodactyl because it's still stuck in its Aqua Ring turns. Encore ended, so we just go for a Stone Edge and it kills. Looking pretty good for ourselves here, in my opinion. We get the lowest of rolls, which I didn't think was possible, and we avoided that Surf, which was very lucky. Go into Glaceon. We have to switch out because we can't kill it with Stone Edge. Glaceon has a lot of defense, so that's why I had to switch out there. And we went into Magmortar, getting that Flamethrower off, easily killing it, but Mamoswine has Thick Fat, so we can't kill it with the Flamethrower of Magmortar. So I go into my Staraptor, bait it, go into Metagross, bait the Ice Attack, go back and keep doing this over and over and over till it's at -6, and then we're able to kill it with whatever we want here. I think it ends up killing it with Staraptor, or do I? No, I kill it with Metagross. Okay, that makes more sense because you'll see when the next Pokemon comes in, it would be a lot more sense because that time it gives me an opportunity because the Mamoswine didn't die. I can send my Aerodactyl on the Weavile, and then Aerodactyl outspeeds Weavile and is able to Rock Slide. But last but not least, we see the Frostlass, the main reason why we use Sunny Day, because it has Snow Cloak, which reduces accuracy of the opponent's Pokemon in the hail. They gain like 25% evasiveness, or is it like +1, something like that. We go into Umbreon because they don't really have anything to hit us with. They hit us with an Attract, and we hit them with a Crunch and win the game. Next up, we have Saturn again. We hit him with the Taunt to prevent the Reflect and Light Screen. We set up our own Stealth Rock, and then have to hit him with a Taunt again. But I actually use Roost because I want to wait out his Taunt turn so I can taunt him again, then U-turn and go into my next Pokemon to knock him out. So now we U-turn into our Sharpedo. Sharpedo has Speed Boost, which is actually really nice, but not really for this battle because they have a lot of answers. So we go for a Crunch because he was just the best option because Zen Headbutt doesn't hit him, Gyro Ball hits him for resisted damage. So we switch out of the Toxicroak because we can't really kill it. Go into Gengar because he was gonna attack me, but then we have Psychic, outspeed the Toxicroak and knock it out. Next up, we have our boy Alakazam coming in, the Dawn. We got Weavile, but we have a Choice Scarf. So with Choice Scarf, Crunch, or Choice Band, one of the two. I don't think my Weavile outsped, but maybe at the level it did. So we switch out here because Weavile does not want to take on a Magmortar. And Magmortar is Choice Spec, so Magmortar can't touch this Gengar. He is stuck in Aura Sphere. This was the plan. Make sure Weavile comes in, takes a kill on Alakazam, so they send in their Magmortar. Magmortar going for that +4, basically weak on the Aura Sphere for the Weavile. That's why we're in this position right now. We go into Ludicolo because Hydro Pump, you know, doesn't do anything. Fake Out, going for that Giga Drain. Like a G, Ludicolo really saved this run, but unfortunately he's a minus special attack nature, so we're not going to be able to really use him for any other fight. We go for a Giga Drain, knocking out the Octillery. Next up, they have Rhyperior. Scald cleans up the deal, and we beat Saturn here. Now, this is an interesting fight, is because each trainer, Saturn and Mars, have 6 Pokemon on each side. That means this is a 12v12. Me and Barry versus Saturn and Mars. One of the Crobats double team, but my boy Staraptor, Barry Staraptor, able to hit that like a G. But we set up Stealth Rock because their Pokemon have Focus Sash, so we want to get rid of that. And luckily, the Hypnosis didn't hit my Golem or the Staraptor, so we're big chillin'. Staraptor goes in, able to set up the knockout for me with Rock Slide. So they send in their Gastrodon. We have to switch here. We cannot let Gastrodon use that Earth Power or Scald on the Golem to knock him out. Staraptor unfortunately faints here, but taking out Electivire with him, what a badass. We send in our Magmortar because we know the Bullet Seed will knock out the Gastrodon, and this will be able to deal with double Bronzong that eventually come in here. I suspected that both Bronzongs would be in play when I sent this Magmortar, so that's why I kind of made it. But man, Barry's really carrying this. I thought this would be a lot harder than it should have been, but Barry's team is just so good. So I think that kind of ruins the hardness of what a 12v12 is supposed to be. Maybe if I had to battle them myself, it would have been harder. So we send in our Gliscor so we can eventually Earthquake the Skuntank, get some decent damage off. Skuntank can't really do that much damage to Gliscor. The worst they can do is probably Night Slash, but I think they're going to see the kill on Breloom and attack the Breloom instead. That's why I was like, you know, I can stay in and use that Earthquake. But yes, the Skuntank also has Play Rough, going for that Breloom knockout. Bronzong hits me with the Zen Headbutt, not doing any damage whatsoever. Bronzong not known for its offensive power, more so his tankiness. But we go for another Earthquake again, knowing Heracross is resisted, but also taking out the Skuntank is huge, And I know Heracross can pretty much easily take out the Bronzong with a close combat. So yeah, Barry goes for that close combat, knocking out the Bronzong, and we don't have that many Pokemon to go, to be honest. There's only like a couple left. And for some reason they send in their Crobat, and even more of a reason, why would they switch out in the first place knowing that Stealth Rock's out? I guess the AI didn't account for that. So the half damage on the Yanmega. Look at that, Bug flying, taking 50% from rocks. That's crazy. We go into our Golem because we know Yanmega really can't do much to my Golem. So we go for that Rock Slide yet again, but they go for double Detect. So you see that Detect right there. We get a little chip on this Sableye, but Speed Boost Yanmega coming in. Speed Boost Yanmega has definitely been a bane in my existence. We lost a few Pokemon to that. But Arcanine goes for a Flare Blitz, critical hits the Sableye. I'm pretty sure that in combination with Rock Slide, it would have killed anyway. But we see the Tangrowth. We know it sees the kill on my Golem, so we switch out into Magmortar. But he goes to Focus Blast. I guess it picked a random move. That was really strange to me. I didn't see that coming at all. So we had to switch out our Magmortar into our Metagross. But Yanmega goes for a Shadow Ball. Man, they have a lot of super effective moves, man. But I knew that I really didn't have a choice to switch out there. So if I got crit like one too many times in this fight, it would have been annoying. But luckily, we're able to clean it up. And Empoleon went for the Ice Beam on the Yanmega. And Kangaskhan's like the only one left. So we go in our Nidoqueen, the one that won't really take that much damage. Now, I was thinking about going for Helping Hand, but I think Superpower plus Empoleon's attack will be more than enough to handle this Kangaskhan. And for some reason, they go for an Ice Beam, but I guess they see the kill there because reading my Superpower plus the Ice Beam. But last but not least, they have the Purugly. We go into Mismagius. Mismagius kind of walls Purugly, so we're in a pretty good spot. We just use Moonblast and take the kill there with Empoleon in tow. Thank you, Barry. Now this fight is absolutely insane. So we protect the Togekiss to bait the move on there, but we also use Focus Sash Wobbuffet just in case they crit me. And then we have our Mirror Coat, the classic Wobbuffet strategy. Togekiss blocking that Flash Cannon will be easily able to bait Metagross. And I think I also switch out just in case they target my Wobbuffet because they could see the kill on that as well. But more likely the AI will go after the super effective move and see the kill there as well. And if you didn't know, Dialga and Palkia, they're very strong in this game, but they don't have the max IVs like all the other trainer Pokemon have. So we're going for that Protect on the Togekiss, and we go for the Wish because we eventually want to Wish Pass it to our Wobbuffet. Because the only way we can really beat these guys is to use Miracle on Wobbuffet to kill the Dialga. So we switch out our Togekiss into Kingdra because we're just resisted. We're not quad resisted to that Flash Cannon. But Kingdra, able to use that Protect. We switch back out our Wobbuffet because we knew that the Dialga would go for a weird move. They wouldn't attack the Wobbuffet, but they would attack the Kingdra, and they went for an Aura Sphere. I expected for them to go for a Roar of Time, but they didn't. So we went into our Umbreon because we're going to Wish Pass again to our Wobbuffet eventually. But then we switch out the Togekiss to bait the Flash Cannon into the Kingdra yet again. And that does almost no damage. But Citrus Berry heals up the Kingdra yet again. So I can do that shenanigan over and over. So we go for the Wish. And then we go back into our Wobbuffet. Because I expect him to not attack the Umbreon. Or he uses Aura Sphere in Umbreon. There's like one of the two options. And I felt like both didn't matter. Which makes Wobbuffet get back to full HP. Guarantee the Mirror Coat eventually. And we encore the Roar of Time, so the only choice he has is to Roar of Time my Wobbuffet, and luckily enough, we're able to use that to our advantage and Mirror Coat plus Moonblast and one-shot this Dialga. What a play by me. You thought it was over with Cyrus? No, it's not. We lead Togekiss to bait the Cross Poison because it's banded. So we go back into our Metagross, able to set up our rocks freely, and we just hit him with a Thunder Punch to guarantee two-shot this Crobat. So now he's paralyzed too, which doesn't really matter because he's stuck in Cross Poison. So we got free rocks and a free kill on Crobat, which is one of the most threatening Pokemon in this game. They go into their Houndoom and we switch into our Kingdra, quad resisting the Flamethrower. Luckily enough, we're able to one-shot it with our Waterfall, hoping that we don't get flinched here, but we really didn't have enough choices to really play around that. We get the XP on the Kingdra and the Metagross. We go back into our Metagross because we know he's going to set up a Dragon Dance. Even that with an Earthquake won't kill us. And normally the AI gets greedy with setting up. So I went for Thunder Punch and it worked out. Next up, I think they send in their Haunch Crow, yes, because they see the super effective Night Slash. And we go into Wobbuffet. For some reason, they went for a Thunder Wave, even though maybe they didn't see the kill. That could have been a thing as well. So we went into Wobbuffet judging that, but it didn't work out, but we eventually got the kill there. And then we switch into our Umbreon to deal with the Weavile. Hit that Protect off, baiting the Icicle Crash, so we can switch back in, I think, into Metagross to bait the Icicle Crash. And then we're trying to Toxic Stall it because we don't have a strong answer to the Dialga and Palkia plus fighting Cyrus. This is Weavile. So this is what I kind of had to come up with just Toxic Stalling Protect strategy. It was pretty much guaranteed, and it took me a while to really figure out, but eventually we're able to do that. Last but not least, we have to fight this Magnezone, but you know, Earthquake's able to seal the deal. We were able to Toxic Stall that Weavile. I think we played the best of our ability in these two battles. Now this battle is very unfortunate for me. Incoming deaths, man. Oh my god. We set up our light screen. We get Thunder Waved, which, oh, the first turn para is very unfortunate, and then leads up to our Shadow Ball crit special drop. That is so unfortunate. It changes my game plan completely. So they switch out into their Rotom Heat, which is strange. The AI rarely switches. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this makes it even worse. So I have to send in my Umbreon, wasting those precious light screen turns, which is very unfortunate. But we're able to Toxic the Rotom, take out the Overheat, and waste his White Herb because Umbreon is a special tank. So we go into that Wish, trying to heal whatever comes in. I think we Protect here to heal the Umbreon. So we're just going for a Toxic Stall and using as much as we can to lower the Rotom special attack with his Overheats, and then taking less damage by healing with Moonlight and also using Wish. Umbreon is a must-have in these locks. You need Umbreon. Umbreon's probably one of the most broken Pokemon in this game. Having Moonlight, having Wish, having Toxic Protect, it's probably its best moveset in like 95% of the situations. So then again, we go for the Toxic Protect route after them healing, hit that Protect, get the leftovers, the burn, doing a little more than desired. They go for the Thunderbolt, and I want to have Quagsire in so I can bait in the Rotom, because Rotom doesn't know Quagsire has Water Absorb. So the Hydro Pump doesn't hit, and then they go for a Shadow Ball eventually, which makes us switch into Porygon, and then we go back into Meganium. So Meganium, we're able to get the light screen, but unfortunately we're taking another special defense drop. Like, man, this Meganium always wants its stats lowered. So we go into our Porygon Z, hit him with that Tri Attack. Luckily we're able to get the light screen off earlier, so Hydro Pump didn't do that much, and we're able to knock out the Rotom. Electivire is a big threat, so we go into Gliscor. We had to play around this guy like wildfire. Hit him with the close combat, lowering his defenses, going into Mamoswine because we have Thick Fat, so Ice Punch is not going to do much. Going to Meganium to bait another close combat. Hopefully he doesn't crit me, but we're at 6 damage left. Going to Quagsire because I know he's going to go for an Ice Punch yet again, and I need the HP on the Mamoswine. So we go into Gliscor, baiting a close combat again, just lowering its health with the Life Orb, man. It's degenerate. Here, I should have Ice Sharded a lot earlier. I feel like with Spadef drops, he would have definitely been able to get killed by the Ice Shard there, but they send in their Luxray. We go into Umbreon. They hit us with a Crunch. Defense drop. Man, we're getting all the drops in this fight. The 10% chance, and we have to force sack the Meganium. We have no other choice to get in Mamoswine for free. We go for an Earthquake, outspeed the Luxray, which is crazy. Luxray is deceptively slow as well. And now, this is where the real pain begins. Raichu. Raichu goes for a Surf. Unfortunately, Porygon really can't do anything in this situation. I'm Scarfed, but Tri Attack doesn't kill, especially because I didn't get that boost, and we have to sack the Porygon. But wait a minute, we got the low roll on the Thunderbolt, so we were able to kill the Raichu, saving us being swept. But now we have to sack the Porygon so we can get in our other guys to really deal with this situation. We go into Gliscor, hopefully he doesn't Shadow Ball crit us, and I think we win this battle by hitting that Earthquake. All those drops were so unlucky for us, man. After a grueling Victory Road, I didn't even realize this part of Victory Road was optional. I had no idea where I was going, and looking at the trainer document, we had to fight or I thought I had to fight all these other trainers on the east side of Victory Road, but apparently I didn't have to. I could have just used Rock Climb and get to the entrance of the Pokemon League. Didn't have to fight these guys. But no, I had to waste like losing like 10, 15 Pokemon on my way to Dawn because I didn't have answers to like a lot of these trainers we had to fight. It was very brutal. So getting into the fight, we send in our Gliscor, hitting that Earthquake. I honestly don't know how many deaths I have at this point because Victory Road really fucked my ass. And I should have recorded them because I didn't think the battles would be as hard as they were. But battling them, I'm like, man, I lost a lot of Pokemon. I wish I recorded it. We go into our Weavile, go into our Mantine, get a crit, unfortunately. So we can't really do much else with Mantine later on in this fight. So we switch into our Quagsire, get hit with a low kick, get hit with an Icicle Crash, doing so much damage, but we hit that recover, luckily. But he misses his Icicle Crash, which is nice, but 1 HP! Well, how many times have we seen 1 HP in these battles thus far in this video? They withdraw again, which is very strange to me. So they go into Energy Ball, but I go into Metagross predicting that, obviously. Going into my Gliscor, I was expecting Focus Blast, but luckily it missed. U-turn, I needed damage. There was no other way I could win without risking getting crit there. I needed that damage on the Sceptile. I protect, going for that Iron Head, hoping it doesn't do a lot of damage or drop me, and we get that Iron Head. Quagsire coming back in versus the Weavile. We go for an Earthquake. After this recover, I'm pretty sure, or no, we just keep recover spamming because we cannot risk getting attacked by this. But he full restores. Again, I did not expect them to full restore like that high in the yellow. That's why I went for the recover the way I did, because if not, I just went for Earthquake and killed the Weavile. I don't expect when the AI will full restore. I know it's in the yellow, but it's like sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. It's really random, I think, but maybe there is some formula to it, and I'm just lacking the information. Going to Quagsire. Unfortunately, took a lot of damage and had to sack the Quagsire. Very sad, very sad. We go into Gliscor. I don't know why did I do that? And I didn't Ice Shard for some reason. So I just wasted those two Pokemon because I was so triggered. And luckily we didn't get crit and Thunder Punch hit. Now we're up against Dawn. We lead off with our Drapion yet again. Hitting that Night Slash, hoping for a knockout. Guarantee the knockout, get the knockout. But I switched to my Drapion into Mantine, hoping for it to Earthquake, but it picked random move and Icicle Crash, so that was very unfortunate. I think the safer play in hindsight was to go Kingler. Earthquake still wouldn't have done that much damage, and I think Waterfall definitely would have done the trick, and we were able to sweep that, especially because Mamoswine was banded. So Torterra got that Stone Edge, and I'm looking pretty bad. For some reason, I choose to sack Mantine. Terrible play. I needed it for Vaporeon, and Vaporeon kicks my ass later on. Torterra has Iron Head, which is scary, but we have a Citrus Berry. I thought it was banded. Maybe not. Get that Icicle Crash, kill it, but now we're up against our Vaporeon, which kicks my ass. I go for Draining Kiss, hoping I would survive Ice Beam, but no. And we Earthquake, we sack because we have no other choice, and we needed Kingler to superpower. And then we go back into our Nidoqueen, Poison Jab, able to kill with the Poison. Luckily, able to do that. Now we're up against Barry before the Elite Four. We lead off with that Pokemon, so we bait the Brave Bird because Staraptor is banded. It's like the strategy we did against Cyrus. So we go for a 2-shot with Thunder Punch, easily able to take this guy out. Metagross is an absolute tank, the level cap, using it to our advantage now. We're not playing around. Thunder Punch on that Staraptor, easy knockout. Next off, they send an Arcanine, but we switch off into our Kingdra. Kingdra takes the Flare Blitz pretty well, and we go into Waterfall. Don't get the flinch, which would have been nice. It's only like 10%, but Arcanine gets a critical hit, close combat. We would have easily survived that, which is so unfortunate because Kingdra was an integral part of my Elite Four run, and it's just out the window. But they send in the Empoleon, which is actually insanely scary. We go into our Manaphy, being able to really tank most attacks from Empoleon. They only really have like Hydro Pump and Blizzard, nothing else. So we set up our Tail Glows, go for that Energy Ball, the 2-shot, but we really can't abuse it that much. But apparently in the calc, I dead ass saw that Scald would 100% kill at +6, but it didn't. And I know for a fact I did it right. So the calc in the Renegade Platinum calc, the custom calc they have, was wrong. So I need to really be careful with that. So leads us to go into our Staraptor, and we easily kill it with an Aerial Ace. They go into our Snorlax, which has done so much work to our team earlier, but doesn't have a dark move this time, so we're able to taunt, Toxic Stall it, and win the game here against their Snorlax. Going into Elite Four, battered. So Aaron is actually pretty easy according to my team. We have Aerodactyl who'll do most of the work. We have Magmortar. We have a lot to go off of. Rock Slide kills the Venomoth. We go back to our Magmortar to hit him with a Flamethrower, expecting the Gyro Ball. Flamethrower, easy knockout. Pretty smooth sailing up to this point, but we need to use Manaphy at some point. And you'll see losing Manaphy, if I do lose it here, it's extremely bad. But you know what? Manaphy's a beast, goes for that Scald, finishes off the Armaldo, but I didn't want to Scald again because I wanted to save as much PP as possible because I don't have that many Ethers and Elixirs. So go for a Scald. They hit us with a Mega Horn here. Not worried about much. Set up the Reflect again. Able to get a Mega Horn yet again. We Scald, but the only move they can kill us with is Stone Edge, and they crit. Why wouldn't they go for Mega Horn there? We finish off with Aerodactyl's Brave Bird, and then we hit with Earthquake a couple times against Drapion, and we're able to really sweep them because we Rock Slide the Scyther as well. That gets rid of our answer to the Fire type and the Ground type leader of the Elite Four. So we had to come up with a crazy strategy with Toxic Stalling the Tyranitar with Umbreon and hoping he doesn't crit me somehow, which, you know, Stone Edge has an increased critical hit rate, so we were hoping to stall that out, and luckily we did. We stalled out his Stone Edges and were able to kill a Tyranitar. What's scary though is that we have to deal with Rhyperior because he has Mega Horn and he is banded. He does some big dick damage, but we got Mismagius not taking much from the Mega Horn and the Energy Ball doing a lot of damage. Once again, we have to avoid a crit here. We get that level up like we intended, pretty goated, and we just use another Energy Ball on the Quagsire. Pretty easy kill right there. So we have to go back into Umbreon, and unfortunately, we take a lot of damage. We protect again, seeing he goes for an Earthquake, and banking on that, we switch into one of our other Pokemon, Aerodactyl. Hopefully he doesn't go for Woodhammer, which is great, because we calced that Brave Bird actually knocks out this Torterra. Aerodactyl, Lonely Nature, is a beast. So it looks like we got the Mamoswine bait in perfect. Went for the Ice Shard. We go for the Protect. Go into Magmortar to bait the Icicle Crash. We wanted to get enough HP to make sure that happens. But they go for the Stone Edge. We go for the Overheat. We had to risk that. But Dugtrio comes in and sweeps. That was literally the only shot I really had of getting past this guy. Now we're fighting against Flint. I know my strategy is to Earthquake twice, kill the Torkoal, bait in the Arcanine, get him to do as much damage to himself as possible with Flare Blitz, so I can come in with a Rock Slide or a Stone Edge and knock him out. So we Roost again to guarantee that, but he gets a High Roll Burn, which kills my Aerodactyl and ruins that strategy. So we go into Mismagius with that Power Gem, go into Umbreon so we don't get screwed by the Drifblim, and then we're trying to Toxic Stall this Drifblim. Being a demon as we are, we're able to kind of succeed at that, but Hurricane only has a 50% chance to hit in the Sun. Sun's pretty broken against Flint in some ways. It kind of comes back to bite him because Hurricane doesn't hit that hard. Man, having Manaphy would have been so nice, but Moonlight, being able to heal 75% in the Sun, pretty pog, not gonna lie. They send in their Magmortar, which is an absolute demon, with that Solar Beam doing a lot of damage. We hit that Protect, but unfortunately, we're really not able to do much, so we have to switch back into Mismagius, go for another Choice Specs powered Power Gem, no pun intended. Power Gem comes in, we hit another Power Gem, and we're not looking good whatsoever. We go into Umbreon, last ditch effort, because I know he's going to go for a Moonlight. We really didn't have much of a choice. And he goes for Fire Blast, and we go for a Mirror Coat yet again, and we're able to tank that pretty well. We only have one Pokemon, and yeah, we just lose.